Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to our second lesson in decimal operations. To begin this lesson, we are going to look at and review our answers from your on your own activity from day one lesson. Okay. So on the screen, you will see your on your own answers for the previous activity that you should have completed. Please note that all the answers are in red, and I want us to pay special attention to number 5. So number 5 was a problem that required more than one step, which we will talk more about today. In the problem, you had to note that you were receiving or you were trying to find the total amount of rain, and we know that total means that we are going to add. However, I didn't give you the information in the problem without having to do some adding beforehand. So we know in the problem that Durham received 3 74 inches of rain. However, here it said that Raleigh received 9 8 more than Durham. So that means that Raleigh received 9 8 plus 3 74 inches, which means altogether Raleigh received 13 54 inches. And then from there, I had to add the 3 74 from Durham plus the 13 54 inches from Raleigh, and find out that the total was 17 28 inches. So even if you didn't get those problems correct, we are going to talk about them a little bit more specifically today, because multi-step problems are problems that you would see in 5th grade on your test and in problems in middle school. You can see them in fractions, we could see them with whole numbers, we can see them with decimals, we can see them in measurement, we can see them in volume. We will see them everywhere. So today we're going to talk specifically about looking at and identifying multi-step problems. So to begin, we're going to start with baby Brian Ryan. So when baby Brian Ryan was born, he weighed 12 pounds. Each day he lost 405 thousandths pounds. How much did baby Brian Ryan weigh in 1 week? So I'm trying to figure out how much did he weigh in 1 week after he lost this weight over the week. So some things that I need to know is that I want to know how much did he weigh in 1 week. And I know that 1 week is equal to 7 days. Okay. However, I need to pay attention closely that each day he lost this amount. Okay. So I'm not just taking away the 405,000th pound once. I have to figure out, well, how much weight did he lose in those 7 days? So to begin, I am going to add the 405,000 7 times to figure out, well, how much did he lose? So before, we are going to make sure all our decimal points are added, lined up. All of our place values are lined up. And we are going to add them all together. Okay. And when I add all of those 405,000 pounds, how much do I get? How much weight did he end up losing? Correct. In the end, he only lost 2 and 835,000 pounds. However, that's not the answer that I want to find out. I want to know how much did he weigh. So now that I found out how much he lost, I have to take that away from how much he weighed in the beginning. So in the beginning, baby Brian Ryan weighed 12 pounds and 0 ounces, or 0 in my decimal. So when I am taking away, I need to add these zeros because I need to make sure my decimal points are aligned. So now I'm going to take away the 2 and 835 thousandth pounds that he lost over those 7 days. So I'm going to subtract the 2, 8, the 3, the 5. And once again, I notice that my decimal points are aligned and all of my place values are aligned as well. So now I'm going to go back and I am going to solve. How much does baby Brian Ryan weigh after 1 week of weight loss? So before I can subtract the 8, the 3, and the 5, is that I have to go to my 2 and I have to regroup. So this 2 turns into a 1. This 0 turns into a 10, and then it turns into a 9. And this 0 turns into a 10, and then it turns into a 9. And then this 0 turns into a 10, and it stays a 10 because you're not having to borrow from that 10 to give to anything else. So once I finally did my regrouping, how much does baby Brian Ryan weigh in 1 week after he's lost the weight? Correct. After that, baby Brian Ryan weighs 9 and 165 thousandths pounds. Alright, now let's look at one other problem. So FedEx Jason. Jason mailed 3 packages that weighed a combined weight of 50 pounds. The first package weighed 21 and 65 hundredths pounds. The second package weighed 18 and 9 tenths pounds. How much did the third package weigh? So like before, I'm trying to figure out how much this last amount is. And there's 2 ways that I could solve this problem. Either I can have the 50 since I know how much the weight is altogether, and I could take away the 21 and 6,500 pounds, and then take away the 18 and 9 tenths pounds from that leftover and get the third amount. Or I could add the 21 and 6,500 pounds plus the 18 and 9 tenths pound, figure out how much that is altogether, and then to take it away from the 50. Either case, I'm going to get the same answer because you're using the same numbers. So I'm going to model this both ways. So to begin, we have the 50, and I am going to take away the first package, which is 21 and 65. So like before, I need to put my zeros here so that I have something to take away the 65 from, because I can't just bring it down. You are taking it away. It doesn't just roll over. So like before, I have to go back and I have to regroup. So this 5 becomes a 4. This 0 becomes a 10 and then becomes a 9. This 0 becomes a 10 and then becomes a 9. And this 0 becomes a 10. How much does Jason have left over after the first package? Correct. He has 28 and 3,500 pounds left. So then after that, he is going to take away another 18 and 9 tenths. Now this one's a little bit different because we don't have anything in the hundreds place, which is perfectly fine because once again, I can put a 0 there in that place and it does not change the value of the number. So now I can go back and I can subtract 18 and 9/10 or 18 and 9/100 from 28 and 35/100, which leaves me with 9 and 45/100. Okay. Or, likewise, I said we can do this another way. So another way I could have done this problem is by adding the two, 21 and 65/100 plus 18 and 9/10. Once again, I have to put that invisible 0 here so I can make sure all of my numbers are aligned. And when I do that, what is my final answer? Correct. It is 40 and 55/100 pounds. And then I'm going to take the combined weight of package 1 and 2, and I'm going to subtract it from the 50 pounds. I know that it weighs all together. Once again, having to borrow. So the 5 becomes a 4, this 0 becomes a 10, and then becomes a 9. This 0 becomes a 10, and then becomes a 9. This 0 becomes a 10. How much do I have after I have taken away package 1 and 2? Correct. Once again, you have 9 and 45/100 pounds. Is how much the third package weigh. Alright, for your on your own assignment today, you have 4 problems. All 4 of these problems dealing with decimals in which you may or may not have to take more than one step to find your final answer. Please make sure that when you are answering the problem, that you are answering the question, the final question. Does the answer you receive equal to the final answer of the question being asked? For Friday, I will give you the answers to all of these problems as well as your new lessons. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on our Zoom lesson tomorrow at 1 o'clock on Google Classroom as well as on Remind. I look forward to seeing you. Have a good day.